Release the Kraken!
Welcome back, fellow game designers. In our last video, I went ahead and made the knee pads for Jill. And in this one, we're going to do the elbows, and I also want to do the shirt that's here. So let's go ahead and save our work. So File, Save As. And this is going to be number 16. Okay. So the first thing I'll do is I'm going to select the body here. And if you look at the image here, you can see that she has a sleeve that goes across the bicep. So right here on the bicep here, I'm going to go into face selection. And what I'm going to do is just select an area and extrude it. So I'm going to grab maybe about here, hold shift, double click, that gets me a band, hold shift, double click, it gets me another band. And I think I'll get one more band for good measure. There we go. Let's go ahead and hit extrude. And if we get a good angle, I'll pull the blue arrow. And however thick you want that sleeve to be is up to you. You want it to be, reasonably sized, but nothing goofy. It does come off the arm a little bit. Okay. You go really far, you can be silly with it. Alright. I'm going to go into edge selection here. Okay. I'll go into multi-cut. And what I'm going to do is create a interior piece that kind of goes up onto the arm. You don't really need to do that because you probably won't see it. But just for like visual aesthetics, I will put an extra edge in here. Hit Q, go ahead and double click this line, and I'll pull that in just a bit. And then just to make sure that this isn't totally collapsed, I'll go ahead and double click that edge, and I will bevel. I think that's good. Double click this edge, and I will scale it just to flare a little bit. And I'll pull it back just to get that fold over. I think that's good enough. I'll go ahead and just double click this edge here. And just scale that one in a little bit. Maybe bevel. Just to add a little bit of texture there. And there we go. We have our sleeve. And then we have for the collar, we'll do something similar. I'll go ahead and go to the neck. And I'm going to go and grab this lower ring here. So double click this one. And then I'm going to bevel here. Hold shift, hold right click, bevel. That's going to split the edge here. I'm going to adjust the fraction so it's a little bit tighter. So 0.1 looks good. I'll double click the lower one. Scale it. I'll just scale out just a little to create the collar of her shirt. And I'll go ahead and just bevel that one more for good measure. There we go. Okay, for the elbow pad, I'm going to jump over to the back of the elbow. Go into object mode. I'm going to make our model live. So I hit the little horseshoe here. And then I will get quad draw. Let's go into our toolbox. Scroll down to quad draw. Go to the back of the elbow. And I don't have a reference to work from, so I'm just going to visualize. So I'm going to start here. Just create 4 points. Hold shift to fill it in. And I'm on the very tip of the elbow here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a round shape over the elbow. Kind of like what I did with the knee. But since this is smaller, I'm not going to use as many points. So I'm going to go ahead and just make 4. Okay, I'm going to go this way to make this round. Okay, something like that. I'm going to continue building this pattern around. So 2 points, point here, 1 there. And again, and again. Looks pretty good. And I'll go one more layer out. And I just put a point around each corner and hold shift, kind of fill it in. I think that's good. It's like a little spider web. Make some adjustments. Use my relax tool by holding shift. Okay, go to object mode, select your elbow piece here. We'll go to, make sure we're in modeling, go to mesh, come down to smooth. Let me hit 4 so I can see what I did. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go back into 6, go to object mode, and then make sure we have our elbow piece selected, go back to quad draw. There it is. And then I will just smooth by holding shift and painting. I'm going to go around, try to hit every bit of it, and check from different angles to make sure it wraps. Like right here, it doesn't quite wrap. So just make sure you hit all the vertices. That should pop to the elbow. Okay, and just like we did with the leg, we can put the straps on here. So I'll just pick a spot here. Wherever you want these straps to go, I'm going to go from here. Add one, I'll do one here. And I'll try to do about 10 around the arm. So that's 1 cut, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. And then I'll just go ahead and smooth it down. Maybe I'll make it a little bit straighter as I go across. Smooth those over. Again, it's holding shift to smooth. And I'm just evening out the edges so it creates a better wrap. Okay. You straighten out this one a bit. So that's 1 cut, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm attaching here, so 10. And again, adjust to widen the band, make it wrap. Okay. So once you have that, it's a shape that you like, go into object mode. We will extrude and then pull the blue arrow. Looks pretty good. Okay, we're going to go around it, go to vertex mode. I'm going to go around, just make sure nothing is sinking into the arm. I think those are all right. All right, this one's sinking in. So I'll get this point, hit W, I'll just kind of move this. And you can see that's not actually going anywhere because we still have it set to live. So I'm going to Control Z that, uncheck live here, get my move tool, and I want to pull this away. So easiest way to pull in that direction is to change my movement. So hold W, hold left click. Let's go to component. That'll get me an arrow in the direction that is better for my vertex, and I'll just pull that out. And just look for any others that are sinking in. Adjust as you need. Okay. I'm going to go into face selection. I'm going to go over to the middle of the elbow. Let's go out. I'll grab this one, hold shift, double click. This one, hold shift, double click. And I'll get the middle by holding tab and filling in. And just like we did with the knee, we're going to extrude that out. So hit extrude. Pull the arrow just a bit. And then scale back. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Go into edge selection. I'm going to go ahead and bevel this edge, so double click it, hold shift, hold right click, bevel. Go into face selection. I'll grab the middle faces, again holding tab. I'm going to change my movement type, hold W, hold left click, get world. I'll just pull that out a little bit. And then I'm going to bevel the edges on the all around the unit here. So edge selection. If you happen to grab your model and your elbow pad, just go ahead and go to object mode, click out, and retry. Alright, double click the edge here, double click that edge, this one, that one, that one, this one, that guy. I'm going to go all the way around, and I'm getting the outer edge all the way around. Okay. Hold shift, hold right click, bevel. There we go. A little bit nicer. And that is an elbow pad. Cool. You can see we have some jaggedness here. So I'll grab that. Let's go to mesh display and set it to soften edges. There we go. Okay. And let's go ahead and take a look at these boots here. You can see the boots we'll have like a rough boot shape, but it's not very good. You can see she has more of a combat boot. So I'll go ahead and just close that window by hitting the little box here. Let's go into our sculpting tools. I'll get my pull brush and we'll start adjusting here. So I'll get a good size, hold B, adjust your shape, and I'll start pulling in these corners to round this off. You can see on the inside of the foot here, our foot is pretty even on both sides, but the inside of the foot, take a look at your foot, take a look at your shoe, we have the instep of our foot here. So we're going to go ahead and define that. This bends in. So I'll get under here. Again, I'm using my pull brush and just kind of pulling in on here. And really define that shape. Check your angles. On a combat boot, this is very well defined, so you want to make sure that you get a very clear shape there. I'll go in and do some smoothing, adjust my brush size. Remember that you can quick smooth by holding shift, and then you can just smooth. I'll get this corner, get in here. Okay, and then for the arch, on a combat boot, the toe kind of bubbles out and then sinks in, and then we have an arch. So I'm going to do that here. Adjust my brush size. I'll come up on the arch, and I'll just start pulling this in, defining the shape around the leg here, and the ankle. I can really start building in that arch shape. And above the toe here, I'll pull this down. Check from different angles. If you see that you're getting lumpy, you can use your smooth brush to try to smooth out some of that shape. Again, hold shift to smooth. Let me go and adjust my smooth brush. So I'll go to my tools, grab my smooth brush, and I'll bring up the smooth strength to about 50. Get my pull brush. And of course, if I do my smoothing now, you should see a stronger result on the smooth. Define that toe shape. See any lumps, try smoothing them. And that's looking more like a defined boot. And of course, the more time you take to refine your shape, the better it is likely to look. You go ahead and go around and really work in this ankle. Make the boots look like they're actually being, lived in. The back of the boot here. Kind of flare out this top. Go around multiple sides, check your angles. Smooth a little bit as you're going. I'm going to grab my sculpting brush, adjust my brush size, and then if you hold Control as you drag, it'll push in. So I want to just tighten this up a little bit. Use my smoothing brush. Okay. Go ahead and narrow down that ankle. It's a bit bulky. Get my pull brush. Do some smoothing just to make it a little bit nicer. Okay. And then lastly on the boot here, I want to define the sole. We didn't do that earlier. We really should have, but it's okay. We can always add it in. I'll go get my multi-cut tool. And you can see how we have this little arch here. What I'm going to do is add a cut just above that. So really tight on that little arch. Add a cut. And I'll go inside here and I'm going to add one more cut in between. Hit Q to get rid of my tool. I'll go to Edge Selection. I'll double click that edge. Get my Scale tool and I'll scale in. So middle scale. That'll pull in. And I'll just do that on my side scale just a little bit. It looks good. And then I want to get the whole bottom of the shoe. So I'm going to go to my front view. Let's go down here, get face selection. And I'm going to select through the crease that I just made. And then I'll go into perspective and just check to make sure I got it all. You can see I missed some. I like Q to turn off my widget. And I'll just hold tab. And actually, I'm going to grab my paint selection over here, and that'll just make life a little easier. Just my brush size, I can just paint my selection. Those are good. Here we go. Get that. Just make sure we get all of the sole. And I want to avoid any faces on my crease here. Hit Q, get my scale tool, and I'm going to do a forward scale, just a little bit. And then I'll do a side scale, just a little bit, to define that sole. I'll just click off, check it. So now our boots are looking more like boots. Okay. Okay, let's go into sculpting again, and I'll add some additional creases and flare to the pants. As you can see, on her pants there's crinkles and folds and such. So I'll get my sculpting brush here. I'll start down here, adjust my brush size, and I'll just sculpt across. Very lightly in certain areas just to try to scrunch out things and create some irregularity. I'll go up on the pants, sort of pull along. Remember that Control pushes in and then Shift smooths. And just regular painting will pull the shape outward. And just go around and create some irregularity so it doesn't look like it's, you know, just a flat pair of like leggings or something. Because these are supposed to be, you know, jeans. And be careful not to mess up where the knee pad makes contact, so I'll avoid that. I'll go around and just flare out the pants a little, add some crinkles. The more you sculpt on a particular side, the more puffed out it's going to be. So you can get some really good defining shapes. Just don't get too carried away. If you get something that's too jagged, you can use your smooth tool by holding shift. And I'll do some definitive creases here. So up along here. Hi, cat. Check along the back side. Find the back of the pants. Again, use some smoothing. Create a butt. Okay. Do the same thing on the shirt. You can see up here on the sleeve, a little bit of crinkling, not a whole bunch, but just a bit. So I'll adjust my brush size. And I'll add some, crinkles in here. So I'm adding some shapes and then I'm smoothing. And you can always change the size of the crinkle by adjusting your brush size so you get a larger pull. Or you can make a smaller brush size and get like finer crinkles. I'll let you be the creator of such things. Like, that's way too jagged. I need to smooth that out. Here we go. Okay. And I think that will do it for this one. And the next one, we'll start doing the UVs so that we can prep her for painting and the hair. So, save your work, stay tuned, and I shall see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. Misty and I both thank you. If you enjoyed that video you just watched, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, there's Lame Duck Studios merch. Grab yourself a cool hat, sweater. You can always check out my Patreon, where you can get access to exclusive content just for my patrons, as well as videos ad-free ahead of time. Or pick up one of my books. The Life and Times of Dinah Marton is about a criminal psychologist who moonlights as a serial killer, and The Guardian's Path of Ascension is about 5 teens who realize they have the power of gods and have to save the universe. Both of those are available on Amazon. There are links down in the description. And The Guardians is going to be converted into a comic book. I'm working with my artist Patrick. We're pretty excited. We're shooting for an October release. You can see some of the work that's been done here. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.